It's about that time of day again. My name is Joseph. It's Wednesday evening, July 26th. Welcome back to Nightly Newsletter. We're covering crude oil, S&P, gold, euro, and DAX tonight. Crude is bullish with a spike in channel, but overhead resistance tells us to avoid buying high. So we're watching for a hidden trend line for buying opportunities on Thursday. The S&P is range bound, same range from yesterday. So the plan is to use the 2-try rule to focus on failures, buying the low, selling the high, avoiding that middle, and of course using range rotation tomorrow. Gold is bullish with a parabolic move higher, which tells us to look for a two-legged pullback off the highs to fill the gap and retest the highs tomorrow. The euro is bullish and trying to complete a quadruple up target tomorrow, and the rule of threes is telling us to look for a deep pullback before buying more. The FDAX is bearish after sellers correctly defended the battle zone, but we're too low to chase this move lower, so we're watching for selling opportunities up at the high of that channel tomorrow. I have another great newsletter in store for you guys and gals. We survived inventories. We survived the FOMC craziness here this afternoon. Tomorrow is all about rebalancing, and we've got some big moves from today's session that are giving us some great opportunities in tomorrow's session. Before we jump into the charts and put the plan together for a Thursday session, I do want to remind you the only place to watch the full-length version of this video is here on our blog at sidewaysmarkets.com. If you're watching the video right now on our YouTube channel, not to worry, there's a link in the description of that YouTube video. Follow that link and come join me here on the blog at Sideways Markets for the full-length version. While you're here, don't forget, join the mailing list. I'll send you an email every evening when the nightly newsletter goes live. Follow me on social, lower left-hand corner. Follow me on StockTwits, Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn. Pick whatever your favorite flavor of social media. Follow me throughout the week for links, charts, and updates throughout the week on my many different social media channels. Don't forget to grab those charts. The feedback I get from you guys seem to love the fact that you can always grab those charts from tonight's video and have them on your computer for tomorrow. So follow that link below the video to have those charts ready for your session tomorrow. And please, please, please don't forget to grab that free pass. What are you waiting for? You're going to learn more with me in 90 minutes on that free pass than you will anywhere else on the interwebs. I can guarantee you that. If you're not an advanced member here at School of Trade, make sure you grab your free pass after you finish watching tonight's video. And I know most websites these days are all automated robots and pre-recorded messages. I'm a little bit old school. I will pick up the phone when you call the office with toll-free number, or you can always use my live support button, right? And my wife Megan and I are here standing by to answer all your questions. So hit me up on live support if you have any questions. Let's dig in. We got a big day setting up here for tomorrow. Don't forget, the day after the FOMC announcement is oftentimes some of the best trading environments you're going to see, because a lot of traders don't want to deal with the FOMC announcement. They'll wait for the announcement this afternoon, they'll come back tomorrow, right, and they'll slay the markets, right, tomorrow. And we're looking forward to having a great day as well. Tomorrow's Thursday, the 27th. We've been talking about this all week, right? We're going into the last few drops of the month of July. We do have one more day in July, the 31st day, that is next Monday. But remember what I said earlier this week. This weekend is probably going to be one of those final, kids out of school, heading off on vacation type of weekend. So we are expecting volume in the afternoons. Really, to be honest with you, expecting volume after 11 a.m., right, to be concerning. At the end of the month, we start seeing lower volume and higher volatility as we go into the afternoon sessions. So moral of the story is, the rule for this week, as we said earlier this week, is get to it early, right? Get to it early. That's going to be where the most reliable trades are going to be coming tomorrow and, of course, Friday. We'll talk about Friday, though, in tomorrow night's newsletter, so make sure you come back and see me then. As far as the news goes here for tomorrow, we don't have much to worry about in the overnight session. Not a lot coming out of the overnight session. Tomorrow, nothing really in London, and we pretty much hop, skip, and jump right down to 8:30 a.m. tomorrow. They've crammed everything into that 8:30 block tomorrow. We got durable goods, we got the old international trade, and we got the jobless claims report, which really isn't much of a market mover. Most important numbers tomorrow will be those durable goods and the international trade numbers at 8:30 a.m. So that should move the needle for us early in the U.S. session. Don't forget, we'll be with all of our advanced members in our trade room executing this plan tomorrow. As I always remind you guys, I'm going to cover a lot here tonight. You never need to do this alone, right? Join as an advanced member and come out and join me tomorrow in the trade room. We open up at 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Join that free trial on our website, and you can learn a lot more about what it's all about. Let's keep going here. Let's jump into some charts here tonight. We got a lot to cover here. Got a big day tomorrow. Crude, S&P. We'll do some gold, maybe a little bit of euro. And why don't we finish up tonight on that crazy beast they call the FDAX. Starting off tonight with a black gold, the Texas T. How about some crude oil? Yeah, we're bullish with a spike in channel and trying, keyword, to retest the high of the range from this morning's inventory report. The most important thing for tomorrow is to avoid buying into those highs at 48.87 because that's a range high. We're going to focus on traps and failures below that moving average, and wouldn't it be lovely if we could use that hidden channel coming up just below that battle zone tomorrow? Now, if buyers are successful at pushing to new highs tomorrow, we have quite lofty goals and lofty targets up around that $50 round number, but we need to see some clear proof of price acceptance before we get too aggressive. I think the most important clues, there are 3 things, maybe 4 things that stand out here right now. The first thing that stands out right now is the fact that we are pretty much right where we left off about 24 hours ago, right? The last time you heard from me, we were right about there, right? So not a lot has changed, right? Not a lot has changed. That, I think, is one of the most important clues here right now. So what we do know is that every time the market went down, right, the buyers just kept on buying it right back up, right? Down, back up, down, back up. So we are definitely accepting of lower prices, but you can always see, right, you can also see price went above, kicked back down, price went above, kicked back down. So we're definitely seeing them reject those higher prices right now. Anytime I see a market that is resilient like this, down and back up, right, I think of it almost as a spike, right, in range, right? Spike in range telling us to focus on buying that dip, and avoiding the temptation, right, to buy up around those highs. So that's where we are tonight, right, back at the prior day high. We're bullish, right? We're bullish, but we're definitely not seeing any proof of price acceptance through those highs. The next clue on the chart is this rectangle right there. Yeah, that's the inventory report, right? Came out at 10:30, whipped around until about 11 o'clock this morning. As I mentioned last night on the newsletter, the inventory report is a big deal. It's pretty much the only major news we get for crude oil every week, right? Every Wednesday morning at 10:30 a.m. So we knew to expect a little bit of craziness, and you can see that's really going to be just a little bit of reference for us, right? So up around the highs of the range or on the lows of the range, right? So think of it right now as you're up around the high of that trading range, and I really got to be careful as I try to buy through that high. What I really want tomorrow is I want to see strength and then hold that pullback. Show me we have what we call price acceptance, right? Show me, in other words, right, here's price rejection. Good example of rejection of prices off those highs, right? Price goes up and immediately gets sunk right back down in, right? We may see the same thing tomorrow. We may see it go up and immediately get punched right back in, right? They may keep on rejecting that higher price. It's just buyers taking profit, not necessarily sellers selling into it, just buyers just aren't buying it as it goes up around that 49 even level. So we definitely want to use that, I think, as the big clue here as far as kind of we don't want to be buying into that 80, right, that 48, 87 area. I really want to see some strength, right, really see some price acceptance, and then we can start looking for some big targets up here. Get the prior month high up around that 49.59, and of course we got the news double up target at 49.88, and then, well, there's that $50 a barrel level again, our good old friend at 50, but we may see ourselves back there before the end of the month. One thing we're keeping an eye on, as we always do, as we go towards the end of the month, we start watching the prior month levels, right? Prior month highs and lows always become big price magnets. So there are definitely some lofty targets up there for the bulls, but again, be very careful buying high right now. Last but not least, and I think probably one of the most maybe not the most actionable information. There's all kinds of information on these charts, right? But most information is non-actionable. That means we really can't do anything with it. I think one of the most actionable pieces of information right now is obviously here what's happened in the short term, right? Price gets tossed around after that inventory report comes out, and then you can see here, right, we go into a very obvious, right, spike in channel. Now, spike in channels are great because they give us some really, really easy areas to look for buying opportunities. I'm going to call that the battle zone, right? Battle zone's really simple. Look at those prior two swings. I love to see this market nice deep, right? Nice deep pullback and give me a chance to buy. Now, on top of that, if you take this top of that spike in channel and just bring her on down to that low, right? That creates this hidden trend line. We saw a great example of that hidden trend line from last Thursday night's newsletter, and boy, did we use that to smack that thing lower, right, on Friday's session last Friday. So great example there. If you missed last Thursday's newsletter, the title of the newsletter, right, was Trading with Hidden Trend Lines. Well, there's a hidden trend line right there, and they can really be powerful tools when combined with things such as the battle zone. So put all of this together right now. The prior day high tells us we have a bull market, but we're rejecting highs. The trading range tells us that we got to be careful buying these highs, right? Buying into the high. And again, that spike in channel, boy, is that, right, important information, because not only does it give us the battle zone, but it also gives us this little hidden trend line as well. The plan for tomorrow is I want to buy low. Even if we go higher here, I still want to focus on buying low. Here are some examples you can use for tomorrow. One option here would be a trap low right below the 48.43. That trap low, that'll be the most aggressive. A little more conservative, how about we look for a pullback failure followed by a pullback for the bulls, right? How about a seller failure, pullback and right back up, right? How about some of that? Failure into pullback. Again, buying low. What else could we do down here? How about we draw a trend line during a pullback and we use that for a two-legged pullback, right? That'd be a little more deeper pullback there. And wouldn't that be lovely if we could use, right, that hidden trend line? Moral of the story is whatever it takes just to buy low. And when I say the word buy low, what I really mean is look left, find some trend lines, find some swing lows, find something that we can look to buy the dip, right? I always try to include some level of support whenever I buy or some level of resistance whenever I sell, and that basically requires me to buy low or sell high, right? Difficult to buy high at resistance, right? Or at support. So, moral of the story is want to buy low tomorrow. What if price goes higher? If price goes higher, it all really depends on how the market moves. We have a spike in channel, and that spike in channel will definitely make it easy for us as the market goes higher to avoid buying high and then just stay focused at buying low, right? Buying low. So it really all depends how the market runs. If we see it rotate inside of this spike in channel, we can buy the low of that channel, right, as long as we're seeing proper rotation. Keep in mind, though, whenever we have a spike in channel, there will always be that deep dip, right? That deep dip is always classic, right, for a spike in channel, because basically buyers don't want to keep buying high, right? That spike higher sends prices higher. People buy the first pullback, second pullback. So eventually we're going to see a nice deep pullback tomorrow, right? We just don't know when we're going to get it. If you want to stay patient, you'll be rewarded by that nice deep pullback off of that, right, off of that spike in channel high. So it all depends on how the market rotates higher. If it just jumps higher, remember we said this earlier, tomorrow is oftentimes one of the biggest days of the week because a lot of traders won't participate during the inventory report. They're not going to trade during the FOMC announcement. So tomorrow is like a big layup for a lot of traders here. If we do run higher, right, if we just jump higher, what you really want to do is try to use that top of that channel, right? And whenever we go through the top of the channel like that, I don't want to buy high. Anytime I have a situation where the only option is to buy high, what I'll do is I'll look for traps, right? And try to use that channel, try to use that trend line, right, as a level of support. Key will be nice strong move higher, right? Don't chase it going higher. Wait for that pullback and buy low, right? Buy low. If you chase after moves, you might get lucky every once in a while, but it's not a very a very reliable long-term strategy. These are liquid markets, right? These are not illiquid markets. You don't want to chase moves in liquid markets because they will pull back, stop you out just in time to watch the move go without you. Now, how do we turn bearish here tomorrow? How do we turn bearish? Whenever we look for a trend reversal, we always look for two things. One, strength, and two, hold a pullback. So how do we go lower here? How does this market turn bearish? One, strength. Two, hold a pullback. And guys, we have had a great week here so far on this nightly newsletter. I hope you learned a ton here tonight. Hope you come back and see me again tomorrow night. And by the way, bring a friend with you next time, right? We always want to make sure we give this great information out to as many new traders as possible. That way everybody, right, can be successful with us along this nightly newsletter. Don't forget, we covered a lot here tonight. I'm going to go over all this again tomorrow in our trade room, 8 o'clock Eastern time. Come out and join me as an advanced member. And don't forget, while you're here, if you want to learn more about our strategy, you can learn more about our trading strategies here at School of Trade by taking our free trial. Learn more about our beginner, intermediate, and advanced levels of membership right by looking at the videos on our website. If you're on our YouTube channel right now, not to worry, there are links in the description of the YouTube video. Follow those links and come join me here on the website. And don't forget, as I mentioned earlier, I pride myself on a high level of customer service for all of my clients, right? Hit me up on live support if you have any questions along the way. Fantastic week so far. I'm excited to see you guys same time, same place tomorrow for a big Thursday trading session. If I don't see you guys tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock Eastern time in the trade room, shall we do it again tomorrow night? Bring some friends next time. Be well out there. Be nice to each other, will ya? And be here next time. Adios, amigos. Bye for now.